Yo.
What's up?
These videos are not for children. If you are a children, then piss off.
Hey there, it's me, your least favorite YouTuber, Infuso. Here with another one of my original videos with a very unoriginal title. And today we're going to talk about copycats. We're going to take a look back at the scary movies, and more so over the spoof movie genre in general. Every couple years or decades, Hollywood gets caught up and obsessed with a brand new trend. Back in the 60s it was westerns. Nowadays it's superhero movies. And back in the early to mid 2000s, it was parody movies. I'm not kidding, these things were everywhere.
Scary movie. Date movie. Disaster movie.
Superhero movie. Epic movie.
Not another teen movie.
Dance flick. Meet the Spartans.
41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it.
And they were rarely good.
Look what I picked up last night.
McAnal oven? That's a great idea.
This video is going to be, for better or worse, kind of a small deconstruction of an entire genre that started off promising, but ended tragically. And it all started with Scary Movie. When I say it started with Scary Movie, I should clarify. Parody movies were nothing new at the time. There'd been several movies made prior that were absolute hits. Off the top of my head, I think of the career-defining performances of Leslie Nielsen in Airplane and the Naked Gun series, or the Mel Brooks hits Robin Hood Men in Tights and Spaceballs. Not to mention his greatest masterpiece and achievement, Dracula Dead and Loving It. The movie history seems to have forgotten, but I never will. But for the most part, the genre kind of went radio silent and faded away from the mainstream. And then came the Scary Movie franchise. The Scary Movie franchise took the world by storm. These were the yearly comedies everyone looked forward to seeing. These are the movies that I could remember being quoted on a daily basis when I was hanging out with my friends. And if you were around at the time, don't act like you didn't throw a couple of these around every now and again.
Your mother.
You my brother, that's your mother too, jackass.
I thought I was your best friend! What? I'm gonna miss you, girl! Oh! Now I'm gonna fall and break my leg, leaving me helpless.
This is for talking! For the fugitive!
You ruined Schindler's List! Jackie Chan movies!
Boogie Nights!
And Big Mama's House!
Here's a little balloon animal! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da!
What would have been your last words to Drew?
Run, bitch! Run! Polly want a cracker?
Polly wants your mama's sweet ass.
Shut up! Your ass is grass! I warmed it up for you. It's the best seat in the house.
Second best.
Oh, yeah. Well, then your father's stupid.
So, I don't know him.
These movies were so simple in nature, but so effective for the time. They made money, they had staying power. The Scary Movie franchise was actually so successful that it revitalized the whole parody movie genre, for better or for worse. And it was mostly for worse. The problem is that these movies were so easy to make, because they were just pointing and laughing at whatever was out at the time. So whether you loved or you hated the things that they were talking about, you had incentive to go to the theaters and watch people joke on them. And what originally started as a clever critique very rapidly evolved into a reference merry-go-round. Scary Movie worked in ways that a lot of other spoofs didn't. It was made by people who clearly did their research and knew what it was they were parodying. Because the satire often came off as criticism of the source material, but with an added punchline. It unfortunately wouldn't stay that way. The series' success led to many spin-offs and copycats, some with 2 to 6 of the 15 writers of the original parody movies, as every commercial wanted to remind us at the time. Congratulations, you were part of a team that made 2 good movies, and you're also responsible for 6 shitty ones, but for some reason you didn't include that in there. And each one of these movies that came out one worse than the last. Mainly because those in charge of making them either didn't care or just didn't get it. But probably both. I can't even blame the people who were hired to create these time capsules of bullshit. You put in minimum effort and make a shitload of money because little Johnny and little Stacy want to see the movie where they drop a cow on Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
I'm the only badass around here. Well, at least he didn't get hit with a cow.
Or because 22-year-old Keith with the face tattoo wants to see Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg smoke weed. I mean, you probably don't even have to write a second draft. The studio will just accept whatever you turn in. You know, scripts are really just formalities here, not integral to what's going on at all. What originally made the scary movies so great, they weren't direct parodies of specific movies, but instead a satire of an entire genre. The Naked Gun and Austin Powers are parodies of James Bond. Airplane is a parody of Zero Hour. But Scary Movie was a play on scary movies as a whole. These movies goofed on every trivial trope horror franchises would throw at their audience, while also referencing whatever movies were out at the time. And therein lies what I think is my first problem with the series. Its reliance on what was current events back then, and what was popular definitely dates it today. Now granted, I think you could still sit down and watch the Scary Movie franchise, not knowing exactly what it is they're referencing, and still enjoy them. Well, most of them. But the same can't be said for those other parody films out at the time. The tired trends formula eventually boiled down to reference? Funny. This was the modern Family Guy of movie types. If you told me the manatees from South Park came up with these movies, I wouldn't even second guess you. I would immediately accept that as fact because that makes way too much sense here. Wait, that South Park joke, did I just date this video? Oh boy, this is getting too meta. These movies very quickly stopped feeling like a sarcastic tribute and a labor of love. And they started feeling more like some idiot's get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not saying the people who worked on these movies behind the scenes were untalented. I'm just saying that if they were talented, then they were overqualified for the job that they were given. You see, originally parodying the movies they were and mocking elements from their plots at least felt like a sarcastic critique. Those creating and putting together these projects would have had to at least have a passing knowledge on what it was they were making fun of. But that wasn't the case with the parody movies of the later O's and early 2010s. At some point in time, somebody realized, hey, we can make a lot of money with this, and we don't really even have to try. Actually, a couple people figured that out. No longer was there a comedy written, there wasn't a story to follow while making fun of everything else relevant in pop culture. Now there was just everything in pop culture. Oh, Michael Jackson's in the news, let's throw him into this. Oh, War of the Worlds came out, let's make it about that. And let's throw in Darth Vader too, cause screw it, we could just, that works, like who's gonna, Pimp My Ride's a thing. Oh hey, did you watch the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie? No, well, neither did the writers. Let's have Willy Wonka twerk to Fergie. Yeah, why not? Fuck it, who cares? They're gonna give us the money anyway. These movies were just references for the sake of references. Because now we can go ahead and air a commercial with Jack Sparrow and Willy Wonka and fucking Narnia. And as long as we call it a parody, well, there we go. We just got some hard-earned cash. Listen, those who put these movies together, they have earned their money. I mean, they probably sat at their desk all day watching every trailer that was out on YouTube at the time, in all 6 pixels that were available. You know what, they earned their paycheck. Jerry, you go ahead, you clock out and you have a good day. Scary Movie is strangely poetic, because while it's what really brought life to parody films, it's also what drained those parody films of that very life. The success of Scary Movie was the doorway for many lesser creators to try to duplicate their success. And again, there was a whole lot of them. These movies absolutely don't stand the test of time. And that's because they're entirely reliant on whatever was relevant when they were being made. They're focused solely on capitalizing in on whatever trend was out at the time. And that doesn't really make for great rewatch value. But that's okay, because they weren't expecting these movies to be rewatched. They wanted to get your money the one time, and they were happy with walking away with that. We'll have the same exact movie, but with newer references out next year. Come check out Not Another Parody Movie. You're gonna love it. This was like finding a way to hack the Hollywood system. With hacks. It even got to the point where they were making parody movies about comedies. Comedies! We're now gonna make jokes on a joke! You see, the Scary Movie franchise was the second birth to the parody genre, but it was also its death warrant. Scary Movie managed to renew interest in these types of films, but it basically did so much damage to these types of movies that still to this day, an entire genre of movie has not fully recovered. And if we're all being honest with ourselves, these movies, and I mean all of them, Scary Movie, Epic Movie, Date Movie, Disaster Movie, Stan Helsing, these types of movies were all downhill after Scary Movie 2. Because I feel like around there is the time they decided, so you know what the movies we made, you know how we try? Alright, what if we just didn't? What if we just didn't do that? We did not do that. We don't try. Yeah, in the box office, it really didn't make a difference. I mean, I will admit I do like Scary Movie 3, but I think nostalgia plays into that a little bit more, because that's the one that came out that I was allowed to see. But also, even now, I kind of think some of it holds up, but it's definitely a fall from grace when taking into account the first two Scary Movies. And anything after Scary Movie 3 was just... I don't even want to remember anything after Scary Movie 3. Anyway, with all that being said, I was of course your least favorite YouTuber, Infuso, and I thank y'all for allowing an elk of a man like me entertain all of you. So thank you for coming, and I hope to see you in the next one.
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
And if you're not joining the fun, you're in for one bad day. And you know what they say about having one bad day?
Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.